Okay, I said I was going to talk about the clairs. So I don't know if you guys have ever heard of the clairs. Most of you probably more common with this one is clairvoyance. So clair in French means clear. Um, Voyance means vision. So clairvoyance would mean clear vision. So a lot of people that get the clairvoyance will be like they see things. Oftentimes, like if you're clairvoyant, you will maybe see colors around people, which is called an aura. So sometimes you'll see like lights and colors, and they're vivid. And people who see auras are clairvoyant because they can see the lights or the energy coming off of a person. There often be colored lights. Um, Also, with clairvoyance, sometimes you think you see something from your peripheral vision, and you'll look over and there's nothing there. Often that is like a sign of clairvoyance. Like a lot of people see that. I guess because you're so focused on what's in front of you, you don't pay attention to what's out here to the side. But when you see things off to the side, that's like kind of like a form of clairvoyance. Also with clairvoyance, you get very vivid dreams. Very vivid dreams are weird dreams. Like all of a sudden, out of the clear blue sky, you're dreaming about somebody you haven't talked to or seen in 20 some years. And I always suggest that someone, if you do have very vivid dreams like that, keep a dream journal. Like even if it's 3:30 in the morning, you wake up and you're like, oh, I'm too tired. Keep a little notepad beside you and just kind of jot down the time. Look at the time, jot it down, jot down what you're seeing in your dream, because usually there's some kind of significance to that in your own personal life, or you could be being clairvoyant in some form, like the person that you're dreaming about you haven't seen in 20 years and haven't talked to in 20 years. All of a sudden you're at Walmart shopping and there that person is, a couple days later. So you'll start seeing a pattern in your dream journal of things that are going on in your life, or things that are happening around you, or like I said, people you haven't seen forever, and all of a sudden there they are, bam. So keep a dream journal, because that will you'll kind of see a pattern going on with your dreams. And oftentimes you can, if you're having very weird, vivid dreams, it has to do with something going on in your own personal life. So you can look those up to help you interpret what that means. Clairvoyant also is like if someone is a psychic medium, they might actually see the spirits of your loved ones. They might be able to tell you what exactly they look like. They might tell you what they've got on at that point in time. I mean, also another form, like for me, I get visions. They look like little movie clips in my head of someone's loved one, like for a memory that they might remember. Sometimes, I will get. They used to be in black and white when I was younger. The visions I would get would always be in black and white, which I thought was weird. It's almost like an old time movie. Like you'd see like that Tombstone movie or whatever, or one of them old westerns that are black and white. That's how my visions used to come when it was actually mediumship or psychic abilities. They'd be like a vision in black and white. But then as time went on, all these visions started coming in color. So now all my visions are seen in color, and often I'll be doing a reading for somebody and I'll actually see certain things they want to stick out, that they want me to stress when I'm listening to your loved ones, is like, say they always wore a yellow hat or something. Say your grandma always wore a yellow hat. So I might get a vision of her like out in the garden pruning flowers or whatever, but this giant yellow bright ass hat will be sticking out, and her clothes will be more like I guess like a lighter shade color, but this hat will be so vibrant. So I know that your grandma's trying to get me to say, mention the yellow hat, because it's going to mean something to my family. So then I will say something like, hey, I don't know what the hell this means, but this woman is showing me this bright canary yellow hat. And it don't mean anything to me, but I know that's how they're trying to get it across. So I say something about the hat. Or the time that I was in my garage and I seen a woman, well, I heard the woman first, which is called clairaudient. I heard her saying her name really loud, like she was yelling at me. Like she was dead serious, like yelling at me her name. But once I told my friend, hey, I think this is your grandma, what have you, and she's like, well, what is she doing? All of a sudden I seen this bright red hooker red lipstick on her lips, and her lips got so close. Like I couldn't see the garage. I just seen her big old hooker red lipstick in my face. So I thought, well, this is weird, and why is that sticking out of all things? So when I messaged my friend and I'm like, hey, I don't know what this means, but for some reason she's got her lips in my face and the color of her lipstick is like hooker red. Well, my friend instantly knew what I was talking about because she said my grandma always wore bright red lipstick. So, sorry, I had to push pause because my dog was coming through and he would have drove me nuts. So, would have drove you nuts. So clairvoyant has to do with seeing. People who are clairvoyant often are really good at puzzles, or they see patterns, which I'm known to do that. Like I see number patterns. Not like that I intend to see them or I'm looking for them. They just pop out at me everywhere I go. Hence the 1111 and the triple digit numbers I see all the time. I see 1111 probably daily in my life. That's the one I see daily, numerous times a day actually. But sometimes every now and then I'll get weird numbers that I don't usually see. Like say today I've been seeing 222 everywhere. So I need to go read what 222 means, just to brush up on why am I seeing 222 today all day long. So that's something you're good at. I'm trying to think here. Clairvoyant, what else would there be? The vivid dreams, the seeing stuff from your peripheral vision. The next clair, excuse me, that I want to talk about is clairaudient. Sorry, I had to take a drink. I feel like I got a tickle in my throat. Oh Lord, it's still there. Okay. So the next one I want to talk about is clairaudient. That is clear hearing. So often when somebody has this, one of the biggest signs of clairaudient is the ringing in your ears. Now I'm not talking about like the tinnitus ringing. I'm talking about such a high-pitched sound that it almost sounds like someone's playing an instrument and strumming or hitting one key. It's like, it's like almost like what you think a heavenly sound would sound like. So what I noticed was, now I'm not saying that sound you're hearing, that ringing, it could be that medical condition. So get that checked out first before you assume that you're clairaudient, just to be safe, because that could mean a lot of medical problems. So, but if you go to the doctor and you get that ringing sound checked out and they say, oh no, you're perfectly fine, then maybe you are clairaudient. So a lot of my readings are clairaudient. I hear them saying things to me, but I also see the visions. I don't always see exactly what they look like. Sometimes they might try to describe themselves a little bit to me by like showing me their mustache, like this weird mustache, or show me their lips. So I do use clairvoyancy and clairaudient with my readings. So clairaudient also means that another thing that could happen to you if you're clairaudient is that you're sitting in your chair and all of a sudden, now the clear blue sky, you hear your name called. So I've been sitting there watching TV and all of a sudden I'll hear Charity. And if I just keep watching TV like I'm ignoring it or whatever, thinking it's one of my kids, or Lydia, whatever, I'll hear it again, even louder sometimes, Charity, like that. And so I'll get up and I'll walk back there and be like, Lydia, was you calling my name? And she's like, no, why? And I'm like, okay. These are some of the things that were happening to me as I'm realizing I have some kind of gift going on. It was never mom. I mean, I've heard mom a couple times, but it's mostly my name. I've also heard my name called in the bar on a Sunday when I'm by myself or with my daughter there. I will hear Charity come from like the back, because I usually sit in the middle of the booth. I will hear it come from like the back, like somebody's standing in there in the back of the building yelling my name, and I'm like, what? Or sometimes I'll yell, what? And there's nobody there. So I've heard my name called. You might have heard your name called out of the clear blue sky, have no clue where it came from, think it's all in your head, but not always is it all in your head. Sometimes that's Spirit's way of trying to get your attention, either because they're watching out for you, because they're afraid you're getting ready to get hurt or fall down the stairs, or sometimes they might yell your name like with me, I've been in a dead sleep, and I know I have a bad snoring problem, and I am supposed to should be probably using one of them CPAPs or whatever, because I think I stop breathing sometimes at night. But I have literally been woke up because they yelled my name so loud. It was almost like I was getting scolded, like I was in trouble. They yelled Charity, and it literally woke me up out of a dead sleep. And I'm like trying to catch my breath, because I think I was like, not breathing or whatever. And then like the next day, Lydia or Josh will say, "My God, you were snoring so bad last night. It sounded like you weren't even breathing, like you were choking." So see, they try to help you out also. So I'm assuming that's why they were yelling my name, because I was snoring and probably not breathing properly. So they're trying to warn me. Sometimes you'll hear whispers, and it'll be off to the distance. And sometimes it might be close, like you can't make out what they're saying, or it'll be off from a distance. And it's like you can hear people in the room talking, but you hear somebody whispering. Another thing that happens sometimes when you're clairaudient is it's almost like you go deaf. I've had both ears at the same time, like totally almost sound like I'm deaf, but I can still hear people out there talking, like my family or whatever. I can hear them having their conversation, but it's almost like somebody's got their hands over my ears like this. So I can still hear, but it's muffled. And I don't quite I sometimes try to listen to see if there's anybody trying to tell me something. Sometimes it'll just be one ear. All of a sudden I'll just lose the hearing in my one ear, and Josh or somebody might be talking to me, but I'm like, whoa, this is weird. Almost sounds like I'm off balance. Let's see what else. People who are clairaudient are very good listeners. Often they will sit there and listen to everybody talk about their woes or their problems or whatever. And if someone who's clairaudient often will just sit there and listen for a while, and then they might chime in. But they're very good listeners. Everything that you hear clairvoyantly, or everything you hear clairaudiently, is always encouraging, is always good stuff. It's never bad stuff. So it's not like a mental illness. Oftentimes people who hear things that are bad, usually it's a case of some kind of mental illness of some sort. So when you're clairaudient, everything you hear is like encouraging or for the good or trying to help you out, or it's inspirational. So that's the kind of stuff I hear, or like the messages from your loved ones. They never say bad things. They always say good things or memories or whatever, or they might have a message, but it's never bad, derogatory things. It's always good. Also with clairaudient, trying to think, I know I'm definitely clairvoyant and I'm clairaudient with my messages. Another clair that is so weird that a lot of people don't know is called clairgustance. Clairgustance means taste. And I know this is going to sound weird, but if you have that clair, you often, especially if you're like a medium or psychic, you will get tastes in your mouth. Of course, you've tried almost every food out there by the time you're my age, so you know what certain foods taste like. So like at the infirmary, I started tasting chocolate in my mouth, and I was like, oh my God, I am like tasting chocolate, almost like I was eating a Hershey bar, and I was not eating a Hershey bar, but I could taste chocolate, and I thought there is something to this. So I think the man or whoever I was feeling in that area, I was tasting chocolate, probably was a chocolate nut, probably loved chocolate. Another time was I was doing a reading for somebody, and I was getting a jar of peanut butter, and I kept seeing this silver spoon going in it, so I'm using clairvoyant. I kept seeing this silver spoon go in this jar of peanut butter. So I was like, okay, are they trying to tell me peanuts or peanut butter? Wasn't quite sure at first. Then I started tasting the peanut butter. And then I was like, okay, so I'm seeing it. I'm hearing them say peanut butter, talk about the peanut butter, but I'm seeing it in my mind's eye, and I'm tasting peanut butter now. So there was like 3 things they were telling me about this damn jar of peanut butter. So I related to the person I was doing the message for, and she was like, that is so weird, because my dad's doctor said that he needs to eat spoonfuls of peanut butter to get his protein levels up. But bam, there you go. Seen it, heard it, tasted it. So clairgustance is taste. So you might, I don't know if you do readings or if you're a medium like I am, sometimes if you're doing a reading, their family will come through and like give you the taste of pizza because maybe that's something they love. They had pizza all the time. The clairgustance isn't as, I guess, doesn't give you as much information, should I say, as clairvoyant or clairaudient, but it does kind of help sometimes, especially if you're having trouble hearing what they're saying, and it might be about food, or they give you the taste of birthday cake because their birthday's coming. It does help. So you don't only have your real five, your real senses: taste, smell, touch, hear, sight, but you also got like a spiritual, kind of like a spiritual, I guess you'd say, senses too, that are not like your regular senses. They're heightened senses. These are clairs are heightened senses. They go above and beyond what you feel on the physical, with your physical body. So that is 3 of the clairs. Another clair is, this one I always mess up how you say it, clairalience, which is smelling. So clairalience, it's hard to say that one, is the sense of smelling. So when you say you're standing in a room, say you're in your kitchen, okay, and you're just standing there, maybe drinking your coffee, and all of a sudden you get this big whiff of like a floral smell or like a perfume or a cologne smell, and you're like, well, I'm the only one here. Where's that coming from? Sometimes that's your loved one wearing their favorite perfume or giving you the smell of flowers because they were big, giant flower nuts. They loved flowers, roses, whatever, lilies, whatever some floral flowers are, whatever. Anyways, like I've gotten that too. Like when we were at the infirmary, I kept smelling like this musk smelling cologne. Like it wouldn't be something modern. It seemed like something from a long time ago. You know how back in the day they used to have those cream type colognes or perfumes for women. They'd put them on their wrists. They're kind of like an oil, pretty much. That's kind of what I was smelling. I was smelling like a musky man's like type cologne. And that's when we got those lights and stuff in the chair. And I kept feeling like it was a man. So I was smelling that. And then I when I said I'm smelling this, I started noticing everybody going, I don't smell anything. I don't smell anything. But I also, in the room next to that, I was smelling a woman's perfume. I kept smelling like this floral-y perfume smell. And I think someone else that was in our group said, oh yeah, I smell that. So that is, oh God, here I go. Clairalience. That is the sense of smell. So your smell is heightened and you're smelling things that aren't actually there, but they are kind of like spiritually there, I guess you'd say. Like you might smell cigar smoke. I have smelled that before when I've been in a building and nobody's smoking cigars, and I'll smell, I'm like, do you smell that cigar or cigarette? And we can be in some old building or whatever. That is clairalience. I think I said it right that time. Okay, another one is clairsentience. That is the sense of feeling. Yes, you can touch stuff and feel stuff. That's a normal sense. Clairsentient means feeling. So when you hear people say, I'm an empath or I'm empathic, that's kind of what clairsentience means. They're picking up on emotions, feelings, energies from people often around them, or they'll pick up on your loved ones who've passed feelings. So there's been times I've done readings and I will get this when I explain love. When your family shows me how they love you, I almost feel like there's this giant golden light coming out my chest, and I feel like this warmth and this sense of love, like, how you love your family. It's like so much more than that, what they send me from the other side. So I get that feeling of that's how they explain how they love their family still, is this overabundance of, you just want to hug that person and never let them go kind of feeling. So clairsentience also is like if say you're in a busy place and it's no big deal. You're used to being in a busy restaurant. All of a sudden you start feeling anxiety and overwhelmed and like, I can't handle this, all these people. And sometimes it's because you're picking up on people's energies, happy energies, bad energies, negative energies, sad energies, joyful energies, whatever. You're picking them up all at once and it's hitting you and it's hard to handle. So sometimes maybe have like an anxiety attack, like, oh, I just can't be in here right now. Sometimes that's clairsentience. Also, you'll pick up on like emotions. So you might be sitting there having coffee and the person sitting beside you maybe is having a shit ass day, and you all of a sudden just kind of feel like frustrated and angry, like I don't want to freaking be here today kind of feeling. It's because you're picking up what the person beside you or next to you is feeling. That is like clairsentience. And a lot of us, I guess clairsentience would probably be the most earth clear, meaning that a lot of people are empathic in some way and they can pick up on emotions and feelings from people around them. Or if you're at work and the person you're working with has a shit ass attitude, it tends to make you shit ass. That's like clairsentience. You're picking up those feelings of that person because their energy is like blah, 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 coming at you. Blah. Yeah. So I have a lot of hard time with that one, because even if a person doesn't tell me how their day's going and it's been bad for them, I feel that. And it almost makes me like, I've got to go home. I just can't do this. Or if someone has a negative attitude and they don't actually come out and say how negative they are, but you can feel it. And it's like they hate the world. They don't like anybody. They're nothing but drama or whatever. I feel that. And when I feel that and I'm like, I've got to go home, you know why, more than likely. It's because that I can feel that person's energy is not a good energy. Not that they're a bad person, just that they dwell too much on bullshit that I don't like to dwell on. They make chaos where there is no chaos, put it that way. Everything's bad in their life kind of attitude. I mean, it's just, or I don't like this person or that person. And you can feel that. And I freaking hate it because it almost feels like a gut ache to me. Or like, oh, I just can't deal with this person today. That's how I feel. That's the God's honest truth. I picked that up. And I don't know if it's because I usually try to stay as positive as I can or jokingly as I can. So when someone comes in with a polar opposite attitude as mine, I really get hit hard. It almost feels like I need to go home and take a nap because I just can't deal with this shit today kind of feeling. So clairsentient is feelings that you might pick up from other people, or, you know, even if a coworker is like, that freaking blah, 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 I can't stand that person or whatever, your fellow worker might start taking on that same attitude because it is like, it's like they're picking up your energy. Even though they've heard you speak that way, they tend to take it on. That's empathic. That's clairsentient. But also your loved ones on the other side, like if they're trying to explain something to me, like sometimes some of them will tell me how they pass, okay? And if it's like with the heart or lungs, kind of, they will do like make my heart skip beats, so I'm feeling it. Or if I have broke down crying during a reading before, thank God I was texting and the person couldn't see me, because this person passed from suicide, and I felt that depression and that overwhelming feeling, I guess towards the end of their life maybe, and how they had been feeling, and it was just so overwhelming to me. I literally had tears running down my face because I felt like I wish they were still alive, because I would reach out to them and say, hey, let's go get some coffee or something. You know what I'm saying? So I take on them feelings a lot of times, and sometimes it freaking sucks because there's nothing I can do now. You know, the only thing I can do is relay the message to your loved ones, you know, or whatever. That's it. That's all I can do. I just wish that when I take on some of them feelings like that, I wish so much that that person was still alive so I could give them a hug. You know what I mean? And that does take a toll on your body. The clairsentient can. So you need to make sure that you block some of these people that are negative around you or nothing but drama. Kind of block them or separate them from your life, because if not, they will bog your own emotions down. Another one is, let's see. Oh, this one I can never hardly say. Clear cognizance. Clear cognizance. That is the feeling of knowing. Okay, so this one is pretty cool because sometimes you just know the answer to something and you're like, why would I even know the answer to that? That's just freaking weird. Okay, So another thing is like, okay, say you're getting ready to go on vacation and you're in the airport and you're waiting to get on your plane, and all of a sudden you get this overwhelming danger. Not only is that could be clairsentient, but it can also be clear cognizance, because it's all of a sudden no, danger, danger, danger. Just the no, I'm not getting on that freaking plane. Something bad's going to happen on that plane. I don't know what it is, but I'm not getting. And you might go, hey, I want to take a later plane. And then maybe in the news 2 days later, you see, well, that plane didn't wreck or anything, but it had engine trouble and it sat on the tarmac for 2 hours. That is knowing. That's clear cognizance. I can't ever say it right. So that's just knowing. And then like sometimes, like when you're doing a reading, if you're a medium, all of a sudden you just know. Like there'll be times where like I know a family member is just like, oh, ask her about Bobby or whatever. And I'll say, okay, who's Bobby? I just know it's Bobby because she plain as day told me it was Bobby through clairaudient. There's other things you just know, like you just might know problem solving. I mean, things like that. You just know. It's almost like that gut intuition kind of feeling. You just know, like there's danger lurking, or you just know that if you do something, it's going to be great. I mean, it's just the sense of knowing things, and you don't even know really how you know them. I know that I'm going to look and see if I had anything down for this. Oh, okay. Also, you have like divine insight. It's almost like you're sitting there and a light bulb turns on and you just know the answer. Or it's like, I guess it's an claircognizance is almost like an intuitive gift. It has a purpose. It's to give us better understanding of like love in life. Sometimes you'll know there's an event going to happen or an occurrence going to take place. Sometimes you know of maybe a person that you've never met and you might be able to even say their name. I'm trying to see here. Okay, this makes sense. People with this can often feel they know like experiences or whatever, or know epic information that's never even been presented to them ever. They don't even know where it came from. But so them are some of the clairs. I mean, I could go more in depth with them because they go on and on forever. So what I've noticed about my own self, I am clairvoyant. I am clairaudient. I do get taste and smell, and I do just know. So I do use all 5 clairs, maybe not 24/7, but I guess it just depends on how your family comes through, which clairs I use. And maybe that's the easiest way for them to communicate is through clairaudience or, clairgustance. I don't know. So I think that some of them use different clairs with mediums because that's something easy and familiar to them that they can relate to us. So there's the clairs. So if you have some of those clairs, like I said, it's best to keep a daily journal of the things you see, you say, you hear that aren't like that are more spiritual kind of things you do. Keep a journal, especially a dream journal, because you'll start figuring out some things about your life that you might not have realized before, especially if you like look them up in them dream dictionaries or whatever. But so those are the clairs. And I'll probably do some more videos again soon. And I'm really thinking I need to do a reading for someone. But first, I want to say this. Okay, for 2 days now, I've had this. I'm thinking it's a guy. I'm not positive because I hear the name Jamie. So Jamie can be girl or boy name. But this Jamie person has come through to me while I've been driving, actually this morning to work. And yesterday when I was coming home from Walmart, I heard Jamie. So whoever Jamie is to you out there, that's probably I'm assuming you are following me, because they wouldn't have come through like that. They just want me to tell you that they are perfectly fine. They are healthy. They're on the other side. They're happy. They just wanted to pop in and say hi. I'm pretty sure this is a Jamie as a male. Maybe they were saying James, but I feel like maybe his name might have been James, but they called him Jamie. So if this is your loved one, they're telling you hi. They've told me this for 2 days now. So I'm just relaying the message. Night, guys. Or I guess not night. It's evening. Have a good evening. And I'll try to do a reading tonight for someone that's following me, because I think I need to practice. Plus, too, it helps me to feel good if I can give you what you guys are looking for. So have a good evening.